And if you bring back your ticket from tonight, you can get 2 free tickets for tomorrow night's screening. So please join us. Big fan. My name is Janelle Riley. I'm the Deputy Awards and Feature Editor with Variety, and I'm your moderator for tonight. We're here to celebrate a new era of streaming content and the cultural phenomenon that is Netflix hits Stranger Things. Tonight you're going to see the final episode of season 2, and then you are going to see the first episode of season 3 5 days before it comes out on Netflix on July 4th. So if you have July 4th plans, cancel them because you're going to want to stay in and watch this. Before I bring out our guests, we want to thank tonight's sponsors, our founding sponsor SAG-AFTRA, along with Netflix. Walt Disney Studios, MGM, Alamo Drafthouse, and Ingeno RX, our decor sponsor, Blueprint Studios, and our media sponsors, Los Angeles Magazine and KCRW. So now please join me in welcoming tonight's guest. Since the premiere of this show 3 years ago, he has already won a SAG Award, a Critics' Choice Award, and has been nominated for 2 Emmy Awards and Golden Globe Awards for his performance. He is also a Tony-nominated actor who's performed some of our most classic works, including Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and The Coast of Utopia. Please welcome David Harbour.
What's up, everybody? You guys are super in for it. I said on my Instagram like earlier today, best season yet. And there were a couple jerks who were like, yeah, whatever, man, you have to say that. Yeah, you're contractually obliged to say that, man. This is by far, now look, it's a little different. Okay, it is a little different. You'll see in one. Once you get to episode 8, it is, well, it's all good, but episode 8 is a masterpiece. This is the best season yet. And I didn't think we could do any better, but this is the best season.
People say you're contractually obligated to say that on your Instagram. I don't think they understand how contracts work.
It's true.
Has that ever been written into someone's contract? You must praise this season above.
I mean, look, you do feel a pressure to promote things that you're not the proudest of sometimes, yes. One does occasionally feel that pressure.
Has that happened to you?
And this is not coming from that pressure. This is coming from sheer joy, love, and truth. But it's also Hopper's fattest season ever. So if you're not down for Love Handle Hopper, you're going to be disappointed.
People love Dad Bod Hopper.
Yeah, well, this is like double Dad Bod Hopper. It really is. I mean, he's outdone himself this season. Look, he's not popping pills anymore because he's got a daughter. He's not getting drunk as much, and he's not smoking as many cigarettes. So what's he doing with all that anger? He's sitting on his couch eating chips and salsa. And when you do that for an entire year, your waist goes from a 36 to a solid 40.
You look great, so are you padded in
Thank
this
you,
episode?
thank you. No, I'm not padded at all. That's method acting right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I suffer for my art. I ate a tremendous amount of donuts. Yes, no, I suffer. But thank you. I'm doing a little better. We'll see where I head. But,
Was that intentional though? You wanted to,
Yeah. I mean, it's we're gonna see him. I mean, the great thing about this show is we get to see these characters grow, and like
literally.
Well, clearly you're gonna see that the kids who say it, they're like, we're not kids anymore, and they're not. Because Finn Wolfhard is 9 feet tall and chiseled and a rock god. Go Calpurnia. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said it. It's like the Beatles. I'm sorry for all the adults in the audience. Just let the children scream.
I have no idea who that is.
But yeah, so no, all the kids are changing, all the kids are growing. So the great thing about Hopper too is like Hopper started out season 1 a very different guy than he is now, and he's, you know, while he's solving some of the trauma of the death of his daughter, he's also unlocking other traumas in terms of dealing with a teenage child, and in that way, you know, he doesn't have the same coping mechanisms, and so he really is. He's overeating this season, and he's also making some really bad facial hair choices, and some also really bad clothing choices.
Was that fun to do, or did you like not want to go out while you were shooting this?
No, it's very. I don't care. I mean, I'm a ridiculous person. I don't really care what I look like in the world. I really do love acting more than anything else to do in life.
Yeah.
If I could just be acting all the time, I think I would. So anything I can do for a character, and especially a beautiful, amazing character like Hopper, I will do. I mean, I will say there were days though when you wake up on a Sunday and you have nothing to do and you have a huge bushy mustache and you're like, what have I done with my life? Because there's a caterpillar on my face. But you live through those days and you get back to work.
I'm curious because I was just bringing up, it's only been 3 years since Stranger Things came out and kind of took the world by storm, and it came out quietly.
I think we started watching
like, I think we were like
That's like the understatement of the year. I mean, this is what I love. Like, I love that you guys love the show, but you were not there the first season. We had a premiere the other night that was like, I mean, it was like
Last night.
bonkers. And I got to tell you, the first premiere we had for season 1, it was like a couple people with like you know, signs behind us that they'd drawn that day saying Stranger Things to hold up for us to take pictures. And there was like a couple dudes with cameras that clearly Netflix had hired to pretend like people were
we didn't hire
interested
them.
in the show. It was a disaster, and we were like, "Oh, no one's gonna watch this." We really loved it. And then it became
but then we didn't
this,
hire
like,
them.
grassroots
It's
thing.
fan
Like,
pit.
it was not hyped. And that to me is the power, and that is truly my belief in this show. It's like, it wasn't hyped. It's not something that's shoved down your throat that you have to watch. It's, you know, it's something that just organically grew from people on Facebook or on Twitter going, "Have you seen this show?" And it just spiraled out of control. And that sort of grassroots movement feels like a movement. It feels like a revolution.
That's true.
And yeah, it was really amazing. So it is incredible to see how far the show has gone in terms of the hearts of people. And also how far the show goes, like, as I say, like, it's a bigger season than you've ever seen. I think it's richer in so many ways. And I think the Duffer Brothers are getting better as storytellers, which I can't even believe. But I think they're just getting better and better, and this season is really the culmination of a lot of things.
Was there a moment, like during the first season, that you sort of realized it had become a phenomenon, or did it happen slowly, where like people started, you know, recognizing you? I mean, you're actually pretty recognizable. You're like one of our most beloved character actors even before this, so I assume you got.
No, but I wasn't. I mean, I sort of could wander around unnoticed, you know. And
Halloween.
but now, yeah, I mean, it's a very recognizable show. So I try to grow beards and you know, get really weird and hunched over. But I'm just too big. People are always like, "Who's that big guy?" Oh shit! That's Chief Harbour.
And I just did that. I said that, like, you're not supposed to just comment on someone who's tall and say, like, "God, did you know you're tall?" And I literally just said that to you. Because I'm always caught off guard. Because I'm sorry, usually actors are not tall.
I know, it's true.
They're not
Like,
5'10".
they're
They're not
bigger.
5'10".
On a writer
Who is not tall. Who's awesome. Awesome. But you've seen those pictures, right? Of like me next to her on set, and it looks like Frodo and Gandalf. Not that she's Frodo, she's a normal-sized person. And I'm just this giant wizard. I'm growing the beard to prove it.
Exactly, to go with it. Start carrying around a staff, maybe. But was there like a time where like...
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty early on, I have to say. Like the way that people embraced the show, it was so quick. I have like I have a cellular telephone. Whatever. No, I haven't. And I have about like 100 numbers, of which I text. Maybe I have like 15 people that I text. But you have all these numbers. I have all these numbers in my phone where like I'll meet somebody, it's 6 years ago, and at a party or something, and I'll be like, "Oh man, we should exchange numbers. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Denver." And like, and then so I have like 100 numbers on my phone.
Oh shit.
And occasionally I'd have things come out, and you get a couple texts, and that weekend when Stranger Things came out, all these people I met, 6 years ago in Denver, or some driver that I had 8 years ago, it was just Stranger Things expletive. Like holy expletive, Stranger Things. Or Stranger Things, oh my God, Stranger Things. Like hundreds of text messages from all these people that I hadn't spoken to in years and years. And I was like, this is really a phenomenon. And then I think the next week there was like a BuzzFeed article, which Stranger Things character are you?
Did you take it?
Yeah, I took it.
Who are you?
I got the monster. Which is true.
Did you have to change your number or?
Yeah.
What about like cops must love you? Like, do you get all speeding tickets?
If he gets pulled over, that's it.
I haven't.
He's
that's
not getting in
interesting.
trouble.
I haven't.
That's a pretty good question.
I haven't done anything truly illegal since the show began. I tried to get out of a speeding ticket once years ago when I had a movie out that didn't do so well called The Green Hornet.
Oh shit, you're in
I remember that shit. It's an okay movie, all right?
No, I like it. I like it.
It's Seth Rogen's adorable. Stop it.
Were you
And I
contractually
remember going
obligated
like,
to say
hey, I was in the Green Hornet, and he was like, hey, here's a ticket. And so I've never tried that again, because that's really embarrassing.
That's the worst when you
Yeah, if you try and then they shut you down, yeah, that's the worst.
By the way, these fireflies are big fans. They're not bothering me
I don't
at
think they're
all.
fireflies. I wish they were fireflies. They're
They're
just
just
like
like
horrible
gnats.
black.
They're gnats.
Like,
Yeah, I was trying to be
like
positive.
mosquitoes or something. Fireflies are like the ones
I know
that light
one
up.
that lives.
But they're obsessed with you. They're not bothering me at all.
Wow, they're big fans of this show.
Yeah.
That one's dressed as 11.
What is it like though when you do become a global phenomenon and then you still have to get back to the work? I mean, there's the pressure to make sure that it's still good, which is why I'm excited. And I've seen the first episode, so I know it's really good. But also, is it you must have people like crowding the set, so you can't just be anonymous when you're shooting.
Yeah, there's some of that. I mean, we try to hide out in various locations in Atlanta. There was some of that, people coming around, and I mean, of course, it's very nice that people love the show, but I will say that, like, Chief Hopper is far cooler than I am. Like, if you want to get to, and sort of all of us, like, it's lovely that people like us, but like we're like Voltron. Like all of us assembled together with a story is far, far greater than the individual lions running around. So it's sort of a weird. There you go. Let's just scream and yell now. But I mean, it's nice for people to love what you do, but it also can be a little bit like, I'm just best kind of doing what I do. I'm best like when I'm acting and when I'm playing Chief Hopper. I'm less. David Harbour's far less interesting than Chief Hopper.
Well, Hopper is pretty fascinating. I mean,
Yeah,
he has
Hopper's
demons
amazing.
chasing him around. That's a little hard to beat.
One of the best characters. In the
Well,
show.
yeah, I mean, where is he?
Yep.
What the
Agree.
shenanigans he's up to in 301?
Well, actually, I want to talk to you about that because I think we all
gotta
fell
pee.
in love with Hopper from the beginning. But then season 2 gave us this amazing relationship between him and Eleven, Millie Bobby Brown, who was probably your primary scene partner of that season. And what can we sort of expect from 3 with that relationship? I mean, it's tough being the dad of a teenager.
Yeah, so that relationship has severely deteriorated. There was a lot of love in that relationship in season 2, and now she has this thing called a boyfriend.
Oh,
To
what?
a controlling
Hell no.
man like Hopper and a father, the last thing in the world that this father wants is for her to be kissing Finn Wolfhard. And so yeah, so as I say, like Hopper's just like you'll see in 301 he's just
better.
eating chips and salsa.
He's like,
Trying to spy on his daughter's shenanigans
Aw.
and is very upset and angry
It's not gonna be good.
at her. And I mean, he's angry about nothing. I mean, she's growing up. She's becoming a teenager, and so
Scary.
You know, that's the real fun thing about this show is it's very.
That's a strange
unexpected.
thing.
Like,
No, I
you know,
have to deal with
you'll
it,
see in
though.
301, like this season has a
We have a
comedy
daughter.
to it and kind of a lightness that I don't know that we've quite had yet to this degree, and it really it comes out of these relationships and it comes out of a depth of these relationships. So we're getting to see Hopper expand in a lot of ways, and so he has this problem with his daughter, and it's going to force him to uncover what he needs to know about himself as a man again. And it's going to force him along the path of trying to get advice from the only other single parent in Hawkins who does a very good job raising her 2 boys. And so he's going to seek some advice and some counsel there. And that will lead him to a whole new
level.
We
bunch of shenanigans.
are dying to see you guys together, but you know, Bob was such a nice guy. But I really
Such a nice guy.
it's like
Such a nice guy.
I think everyone had that reaction of like, who is this guy coming between these two? And oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he's such a nice
Sean Astin's so adorable. Yeah, no, it's true, you know. I mean, and that's the fun thing. And you'll see, I mean, I don't want to ruin anything for you, but you know, these are 2 really interesting characters, and the Duffers will never give you anything like, you know, we are in response to the fans, I think, which is such a wonderful thing about the show. Like I mean, the Duffers pay attention to that, and they, you know, will quench your thirst in various ways for various things, and yet they'll do it in ways that are very unexpected. Like you'll get something, and then you'll be thrown off in a certain way. And I think this season does that brilliantly. Like you get a lot of stuff that you want, and then you get stuff that you didn't even know you could want at that point, and things that are very surprising and very wonderful. So yeah, I'm just excited to see. I mean, I'm so boring compared to 301. Like you guys are gonna watch 301 and you're gonna be like, this is good.
What's it like for you to get a script? Because in addition to being on the show, you're a fan of the show. So do you just devour it? And sometimes are you even like, oh, I can't believe they did that?
I just read my own lines. And then no, yeah, it's a page turner. I mean, it's a huge
just do your job.
page turner.
Yeah.
The only thing that I wish that I didn't have to, so I could be surprised when I watch it. But I still am. Like I still forget some of the stuff that we shoot after we've shot, because it's kind of a blur. Like we're down there in Atlanta, we're shooting a lot of stuff, and then I'll rewatch the show and I'm still moved by this story, even though I know what's going to happen. I mean, I think that's the replayability of it too. Like, as you say, again, I'm hyping this episode up, but episode 8 is a masterpiece. And I myself have watched it. I get it early. Yeah, that's right. First year this year that I get it early.
2 years. 2 years.
I watched episode 8 already 3 times because it's not even the content of how it's not even the what. It's the how that is so moving that every time it's like listening to your favorite song.
Yeah.
Like you get to that chorus and you just like, you know, and watching the show has that same quality for me. It's like a great album or something. You just want to like put it on. You want to like watch that scene.
Wear it.
So
No one is going to go out for 4th of July.
I know,
'Cause everyone's going to be in rewatching
buy
it.
fireworks and barbecue
Blow them in your
stuff,
house.
please. We don't want to ruin July 4th. You can just do it on July 6th.
Under July 5th.
Change the entire thing.
What's been the most, I'm curious, like the most challenging part of playing this role? Because I have to think just things like getting covered in sticky black tar or something like that. That's got to get old.
Yeah, that was, in the tunnels, you mean? Yeah. The most difficult thing
Tight.
this season, and I will be very curious about your opinion, because it does happen in 301. There is one scene in 301 where I had to say a line, and I never, I'm usually very serious and curmudgeonly on set,
And I have to say this line, and I could not stop laughing. And we didn't get a close-up take of it. You'll see, like when it's done a little bit wide, because I could not say the line for an hour.
Really?
For an hour, I was laughing so hard. The Duffer Brothers were laughing behind the monitor. Our first AD was laughing. Our camera op was laughing, to the point where I was like a child. I mean, I would go, and I just laugh. And Finn, it's with Finn, and it's a scene with Finn.
He knows.
And he goes, and Finn was like, "Come on, man, you got this." And I was like, "You're a 14-year-old child. I'm 23 years old, and I've been doing this for
I can do this.
25 years.
I can do this.
And I'm being coached by a child. It was very embarrassing. It's the hardest experience I've ever had on Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Has that
Oh,
ever
man.
happened to you before? Like, I'm trying to imagine you on like The Equalizer. Cracking up.
No, I mean, yeah, it's happened before. I mean, like on some stuff, but on Stranger Things, I'm usually very serious because the kids are always like messing around, and I'm always like the hammer. Like I come in, I'm like, "You guys know your lines?" I get all scared and stuff. So I don't normally do that, and for some reason, you'll see this scene in 301. I think it's, and at the time, I was like, I can't believe that Harbour is doing this, and it just struck me as so funny, and I just couldn't stop laughing. So there's a first time for everything.
You say the kids that you're intimidating to them, but is that true? I mean, like, they seem to love you a lot, so.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yes, you intimidate them.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can like. No, they do. I mean, it broke down a little bit, but also, like, I can still drop the hammer, man. Like, there was a funny thing, too, where we were on set, and I think they were all messing around, and, like, it's actually the Duffers that I think have a harder time.
Yeah.
Because they're dealing with them all the time. I'm a little bit apart. So, I think it was Ross who came up to me and was like, "Hey, man, the kids are..." I was like, "Don't worry, pal, I got this." I was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, man."
So you're
That guy's
willing to go
funny.
there.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, again, as I say, like, to me, the most important thing in the world is the experience that you have. So, like, as much as we have a good time shooting it, I'm always aware that I'm working for you in service of an audience. I'm never doing something because it's like, "Oh, this is really cool." It's like, no, I want this to be perfect so that you will watch it and feel something like so big. And so when the kids, that's the truth. It's true. When the kids start messing around, I remind them of that. I'm like, we have a duty to the people that love this show that is serious.
Stop looking at his
You can
crotch.
change lives with this stuff. You know what I mean? You can inspire people with this stuff. I believe in that. I've said that about acting, before in crazy ways. And people make fun of me for it, but I am deadly earnest. I do believe that anything you do in this world, you can work at, the fast food joint, and if you serve with a pride and with a dedication and in service of others, you can contribute to an inspiring world. And I feel like it's the same thing with acting or arts. If you go into the arts with that intention, then you can heal the world. You really can. There you go, SAG-AFTRA. That one's for the union.
You mentioned that the Duffers do sort of listen to the fans, or they like to sort of give the fans what they want to a certain degree. I mean, how much attention do you pay, like, on social media? Do you read crazy theories and, kind of laugh, or maybe you go, "Oh my God, they got it right"?
I mean, I sort of was for a while, and now I'm a little bit. I have problems with social media. So I've kind of like, it's a funny little thing, social media. And I want to give people stuff on it because I feel like they deserve that. But I don't know if it's not with Stranger Things. I feel like the Stranger Things fandom is extremely lovely and extremely generous and stuff like that. But I feel like people can also be, not so great on social media, and it sort of gives them license to feel like they can be cruel in a way that I don't. I'm still a human being, and I think that that's what I'm experiencing. Is like things. It's a crazy world when you have millions and millions of people that want to
No.
share their opinion about you and like
No
what
shit.
they think of you. Because there's, trust me, there's 98% of them just sheer adoration and love.
That
But
2%.
that 2%,
Fuck
it
you.
hurts.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've sort of changed my relationship with social media a little bit recently. But I love the fact that fans create art for the show. I love the fact that you guys have theories. By the way, one of my favorite fan theories ever was last season we did a Super Bowl commercial and it announced that, so Super Bowl's in like late January, it announced that the season was coming out on Halloween. And there was a fan who got online and figured out with the cuts in the trailer and the time sequences and the numbers and the way that this frame was turned into that we were actually going to release it on March 1st, not October 31st. That we were lying to you and it was coming March 1st. And I mean, that fan was sorely disappointed, like it was coming on Halloween. But I love the fact that he developed this entire fan theory around the fact that we were going to release it 6 months early.
Well, let's be honest, you were going to, and then he caught you.
Then he caught us, and so we pulled it back. We went back to Halloween,
And like, crazy, did you not like officiate a fan's wedding?
I officiated a fan's wedding.
Did you do it as Harbour?
I did. I wore the outfit and everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I would love to see like Harbour reading the vows and everything.
I don't know that you would.
Did he get like choked up? He'd probably be.
No, you know what I did was I gave I did the service. Like I wrote a thing and everything.
Really?
It was like whatever. It was a bunch of dad jokes. You know how it was. It was like I'm used to performing a lot of civil services in Hawkins, Indiana, or something, whatever. And then, but I didn't do this, which I forgot. It was only like a 10-minute service. But the bride walks down.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit nervous, and I didn't tell people to be seated. So I started in on the thing, and everyone was standing the whole time. And then they got married and everything, and then everybody walked away, and it was it. So if you ever perform a wedding, tell people they can sit down. That's my big advice to you.
Was everyone there a fan of Stranger Things, or were there people who just thought you were this nice sheriff?
98%, but there was 2% who just hated my performance in particular, and were giving me the stink eye. No, I'm kidding. They were all lovely. They were all lovely.
Good.
Yeah, big fan.
So I mean, we've sort of talked about this, but this is such a phenomenon. It's scary. It's funny. It's so heartfelt. But why do you think it has, got such a reaction out of people? It's tapped into so many things. People they don't just like it. They really love it. They take it very personally, as you said. I mean, part of that can just be great storytelling, but I think it's a little more than that.
I don't.
Really?
I mean, it's funny because, I honestly, I just think that it's so well done.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Game of Thrones thing. Who cares about dragons and a nerd like me does. But in general, it's just the fact that they tell their story so well. And this is, there's kitschy sort of hooks with the 80s and things like that. But I can't think of another show kind of recent. Well, there's tons, whatever. But there, I always say stupid things like this, and then I regret them later. It's like I can't think of another show.
Sounds like me. Sounds like me.
But you say
like me.
Steve Harrington, you say Steve Harper, you say Mike Wheeler, you say Will Byers. Okay. But they immediately conjure very distinct images in your mind, and you can immediately different. You're never like, who's that kid is that this kid that thinks that way or that kid? They're very distinct. The characters, you care about the relationships. The storytelling is you care about the plot, but you also care about the character's response to the plot. And these things are really hard to do. They're just really hard to do. So it's again, it's the how.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know
like playing
heavy
video
metal
games
music,
like Fortnite.
but Black Sabbath's first album
See?
to me is like a
You
masterpiece
said.
because of the how. It's
Yeah.
not like I love metal. It's like I just
you
love
love
when
metal.
someone does something so well. And again, I can't speak about it.
Right.
Duffer Brothers. I just think they do this thing extremely well.
What are the Ozzy says?
We're about to
That's how we
watch
met.
the final episode of season 2, but going
I know
to season
you
3, which is set in
fucking elbowed me in the
1985.
face.
Yes, summer of 1980.
What the hell was
You
that?
were probably their age around then.
I was 10 years old, so I was a little bit younger, but yeah, I was 10 years old. I saw
My
Back
first
to the
concert was
Future in
Ozzy.
the movie theater.
That's right. Was it kind of surreal to be on these sets that are like basically set in your childhood?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. They're like phones and stuff.
Oh, that's Do you have to explain to the kids like what some of these things are?
I did the first season when they were little tykes. Yeah, like I think Gaten didn't know what a phone was. Like a wall
Gaten?
phone. Like he was like, "What is that?" That's a wall phone. What's wrong with you?
That's true though. Like, if Stormy saw that shit, she wouldn't know what
And
it
then
was.
he cried.
You bring the hammer down, as you said.
The
I
hammer.
want to thank you so
Hey,
much.
shut
for
your
being here.
mouth.
I want to thank you guys for being
Shut
great
your mouth.
audience.
I can't wait for you guys to see this.
Before we go, I just want to let everyone know that the SAG-AFTRA Foundation is a nonprofit that offers a vital safety net to performing artists all around the country. They're a really great
kinda short.
organization. You
Time's
can
up.
subscribe to their YouTube channel to see lots of conversations like this one. In fact, there's one of you on there that everybody should check out. Do you remember doing this?
Don't check that. I don't know what I said. I'm sure I said, I can't think of another show. I'm sure I started one sentence like that.
Nailed it.
When you see that, I'll laugh. Point and laugh.
In addition, the foundation produces a children's literacy program called Storyline Online, where actors volunteer their time to read to children online. So please take a look at their programs. We're going to look at a quick reel.
I
sort
just
of talking
donated
about
a
them.
shit ton of
And
money
then we
to
are
it.
going to go to the Upside Down.
Yeah, I did.
$2?
Thank you guys. Enjoy the show. Enjoy it.
There it goes.
That's me.